Before we begin, Puppy Playtime is a new indie horror game that was released in October 12, 2021. The game takes place in an abandoned toy factory where you were asked to come back by a mysterious letter that was sent within the factory. The game has a selection of characters such as Mommy Longlegs, Puppy herself, and Huggy Wuggy. But Huggy has always been the most mysterious one out of all of them. Huggy never talked, and we don't really know much of his character other than his cartoony counterpart, unlike the other two mentioned characters. So, in today's video, we'll be answering the question of who is Huggy? Huggy was created in 1984 by the toy company Playtime Co., and in a couple of months, he became a roaring success to Playtime Co. He became one of the signature toys alongside Puppy and many others. And the year after Huggy's creation came along Kissy Missy. In one of the VHS tapes that can be found in Puppy Playtime Chapter 2 is a tape where we were shown how Huggy Wuggy got his name.
Jimmy, your work as Playtime Co.'s chief marketing officer has skyrocketed the company's profits. How do you do it?
You know, it's not what you'd expect. It's the little things most people don't even think about. Like, take names, for example. Express people haven't realized this. You take the E sound, slap it on the end of a name, boom, you're making bank. Huggy, Mommy. Even Elliot knew this way back with Poppy.
Couple years passed, and in the fateful year of 1991 was the beginning of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. The initiative that began all the giant living toys that we see today, including Huggy Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy, or referred to as Experiment 1170 by the scientists of Playtime Co., was created with the purpose of becoming a security measure as mentioned in the green tape of Chapter 1.
While we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent child care, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system.
The beginning of the end for all the scientists began on the tragic day of August 8, 1995, where Huggy Wuggy and the other giant living toys became aggressive toward all the employees of Playtime Co., which resulted in many deaths inside the factory and led to the eventual abandonment of Playtime Co. toy factory. The year 2005 is where the story of Puppy Playtime started, and in the end of the van chase scene of Chapter 1 is where Huggy's story is left in murky waters. In the restricted security footage, where we see the first instance of Huggy being outside of the factory, Huggy seems to just wander off into the woods in search of something. The event occurred on June 18, 1992. After killing multiple security teams that was deployed to search Huggy Wuggy at the end of his journey seems to stay still near a suburban home, as if he's reminiscing something about his past life. In the VHS tape, Huggy seems docile when he was near the suburban home, as if the house is somehow connected to him. Many theories suggest that this was his house when he was an orphan child. Some even suggested that this was his house when he was still an employee of Playtime Co. The person who eventually became Huggy Wuggy is still unknown. He may just be one of the orphans who was experimented on during the orphan adoption program. But a more interesting theory is Huggy Wuggy was a security guard for Playtime Co., which went out of line or volunteered to be experimented on. After Huggy Wuggy stumbled into the abyss, he seems to still be alive as seen in the water treatment area of Puppy Playtime Chapter 2, where his fur is seen, suggesting that he survived and climbed back in one of the vents. Chapter 3 may be the chapter where we will face Huggy Wuggy again in a more aggressive state after his fall, But who knows? Chapter 3 may answer many questions about Huggy Wuggy's origin, mysteries, and might even debunk some theories about him. All we can do now is wait for the long-awaited Chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed the video on the story of Huggy Wuggy. If the video gets enough like, I might even redo this again on more different characters like Mummy Longlegs.
Hello down there.
Yeah. Anyways, goodbye.